Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, we need to talk about something. The Real Housewives of True Crime. Now listen, I know those TV shows, The Real Housewives of whatever, have been on TV for a real long time now. I used to watch diligently, but I don't watch no more because it's just a bunch of ladies who were either on their way to jail or on their way to divorce court, and I don't have that kind of free time. So I was like, them. And then I noticed yet another Real Housewife was arrested. I was like, "Ooh, child, tell me every single thing. I need to know all about these people's personal business. Also, if they're gonna be down there at the jail, then I need to know what crime you committed. I want to know what evidence they have against you. I want to know every single thing. If you're gonna be on my TV flaunting how rich you are, then I want to see how criminal you are as well." We're gonna get into Wendy and Eddie Osefo from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes, honey. Clutch your pearls. They got arrested the other day. We're going to talk about every single detail. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share out this madness that I call a YouTube channel. Me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. Now listen, the housewives of various jurisdictions, because it's not a town, it's a city, it's a state, it's a whatever. They're all over the place. These particular people are from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, Potomac is in Maryland. It's supposed to be like a ritzy suburb out there in Maryland. Honestly, if you ask me, all the people on all the franchises are crooks, or they're broke, they're trying to be rich. I don't know. I'm just saying. So, Wendy and Eddie Osefo are an African couple, like from, not African American, I mean also African American, but also like directly, set first generation Americans, whatever. Their parents were immigrants to this country. And so they're like, we're working hard, we're doing all the things we need to do to make our American dream come true, which is really beautiful and a wonderful idea, right? And Wendy is like, I have so many degrees. I'm so smart. I'm a college professor. Heifer, then why are you on this show? I don't understand. Anyway, a couple days ago, the police was like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, girl, hey, we got some nice bracelets for y'all. And so the po-po showed up and slapped the cuffs on her at her Finksburg home over there in Maryland. Now listen, number one, Finksburg is not Potomac. How far is Finksburg from Potomac? I should maybe look at a map, but I was like, I want to know every single thing, what they get arrested for. Apparently, back in April of 2024, Eddie and Wendy called the police and were like, oh my goodness, we were on vacation in Jamaica and our house was burglarized. It was terrible. I want to get that 911 call that Eddie made. I don't know if that's going to be made public, but somebody should do like a Freedom of Information Act and get that, because now I really want to hear it. According to them, their house was vacant while they went away. Nobody was house sitting. Nobody has spare keys. They had cameras like inside the house and outside the house, but the cameras didn't capture anything. Sus. According to them, missing from the house were a lot of designer handbags and jewelry totaling more than $200,000. It was all missing from the master bedroom. And I was like, okay, because of the dollar value of the items that are missing is so high, the regular police are like, oh, no. This is not just like regular somebody stole my purse police. Because of the high dollar value, they had to call in like detectives and not special victims, but like the high dollar value. I don't know what division of the police it is, but they had to call in like extra police for extra investigation because of the high dollar amount of the items. So the police come in and they're looking around and they're investigating and they taking their notes and stuff. They're doing everything they need to do. And the police were like, right, you have all these cameras inside the house and outside the house. No cameras caught anything you say. Nothing at all. And they were like, we looked at the cameras and we didn't see anything. How would somebody have gotten from downstairs all the way up to our master bedroom and not been caught by any camera anywhere? So the police, the detectives, were like, oh, don't you worry about it. We're going to detect. So they went and they were like, hello, neighbors, listen. One of your neighbors says they were robbed. Can we see your Ring doorbell footage? So the police looked at all the Ring camera footage and there was nothing. Nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. But there was, Ring doorbell are solving crimes. Ring doorbell and people's Google searches are solving crimes left, right, and center. But there's nothing on the Ring doorbell. And the police were like, something about this don't look right, but we're going to investigate like we always investigate. Don't worry about it. So they're looking around the door and they're looking around the windows. The cameras are blank. Also, there's no signs of a break-in. Wendy and Eddie, y'all are bad at crime. You would think. Now, the bedroom was ransacked, like the mattress was thrown off, like the base or whatever, but the police did not find no broken windows, nothing. Nobody had like tried to jimmy the lock. There were no footprints. There were no fingerprints. There was nothing that looked like this was a crime, aside from the fact that the bedroom was tossed. Super duper sus, right? So Wendy and Eddie are like, oh, this is terrible. We'll have to go right away and file a claim with our insurance company so we can get this money back. And the police were like, okay, let's just take a couple more pictures. Show us the window where you think the people came in. And Wendy is like, right over here, the second floor window, near our bathroom, near the back of the house or whatever. Later, the cops were like, if a burglar wanted to come in, even if they knew exactly where they were going to go, why wouldn't they just kick through the front door? Why would they climb up to the second story, risking life and limb? You could break a leg. No burglar wants a broken leg. That's like, you can't get workers' comp for that. It's a whole situation. Anyway, so they're claiming a burglar went up to the second floor, went through the window, took all the stuff and left. But the window was not damaged in any way. Okay, y'all, You should have watched a few more episodes of Law and Order before you decided to stage this crime. But stay stupid scumbags. Anyway, the police were looking around and they're like, nope, there's no evidence of anything aside from the fact that your bedroom was ransacked. And we don't know, like maybe y'all just have bad housekeeping skills. Unclear. And then a couple of weeks after the crime, Wendy calls the police, Eddie calls the police and was like, hey, police, hey, listen, we thought of some more items. We discovered some more items that were missing. We'd like to add those to the list. And we're going to file that with the insurance claim. And the police are like, okay, we're going to take all this down. You said, what else is missing? Okay, we got that. And what else? Okay, great. They write it all down. It goes on the police report. Eddie and Wendy call, to do the insurance claim. Then the police started looking around and investigating. Remember when I said they had detectives? Honey, those detectives showed up and they detected. They were like, now these people are TV people, which means they're also on social media. Let's look at their social media and see. Because from day one, the cops were like, something about this, something in the milk ain't clean. Something is suspicious. So they were like, oh, Wendy's wedding ring was stolen and her anniversary band. That's terrible. Let's jump on Instagram. Oh, look, here's a picture of you on Instagram after this crime was supposed to have taken place, and you're wearing the ring that you said was stolen. Ma'am, bad at crime. Additionally, the police were like, so do you have receipts or something so we know what we're talking about, so we know what we're dealing with in these items? If you have all these high value items, you would think you would have saved a receipt. Maybe it's on your credit card statement, something like that. They were like, oh yeah, here's the receipts for the very fancy handbags that we bought. And the police were like, oh, okay. Now you're filing this case in 2024. Okay, great. You still have this receipt from 2018. Terrific. The police looked at the receipt and they were like, okay. Of course, the receipt has like the name of the store, the time it was bought or whatever. Who do you think the police called? Oh, yes, the police called the store. The store let their little fingers do the walking in their computer. And they were like, yes, we see that Miss Wendy Osefo bought this very, very expensive handbag on this date and then returned it very shortly afterwards. Okay. On that same receipt, because you know how when you go to a store, if you go there often, they're like, oh, use your phone number for extra, so you can gather your points or whatever. Honey, not only did Wendy return the fancy handbags within the return window of like 30 days, 90 days, whatever it was, she had an email address on file with the police. With the store. And the store was like, terrific. What email address did she have on file? Thank you so much. We're going to write that down. And then the detectives were like, we got nothing but free time and the ability to detect. Hello, Google, can you give us all the downloads of her emails from this particular email address that she had on file with the store? Wendy and Eddie never saw this coming. Are the other housewives of Potomac clutching their pearls? Do they have friends that also tried to commit insurance fraud? Where did they get this idea from? Anyway, so the police seized the email information. Honey, what do you think they found? They found a lot of incriminating evidence in the emails. These people are not smart enough to commit their crime over WhatsApp or talk to each other while you're face to face in the house. They have emails of Eddie saying to his wife, Wendy, listen, we need to add as many items to this as we can so that we could get the value up to $420,000 because that is the limit of our insurance policy. So come up with some more stuff when you get a chance. Thanks so much. All over email. And it's the email that was attached to the receipt that you gave the police. You out here just giving the police evidence against you. Okay. So the police took a year. They gathered up all this information and they took it to the grand jury. The grand jury looked at everything and was like, book him, Dano. Okay. The grand jury returned an indictment, and then the indictment came down just recently, and the police showed up at the house and arrested them. Now, they at the house, they have 3 school-age children. What do you think the moms at the PTA are saying? Let this have happened at my child's school. I'll be like, well, Betty, what'd you hear? Sally, girl, what'd you hear? Y'all want to have a cup of tea? Come on, let's go have a cup of tea and talk about current events. And by current events, what's happening at that heifer's house? Anyway, so when the police showed up at their home to arrest them, they also had a search warrant for the house. And what did the police find inside of their house? 15 of the items that had been listed as stolen in the police report were there in the house. Now listen, I understand it's been a year. I understand you forgot what you lied about. You was just trying to get this money because the money was tight. And what would you look like going and working a regular 9-to-5 job like you had some common doggone sense? You over here trying to be fancy and being on TV. I thought Bravo was paying you a real lot of money. Apparently not enough for you to avoid committing insurance fraud. But anyway, so when they looked in the house, they found a whole bunch of the missing items. Oh, how embarrassed is she? Are they going to say, oh, it was an accident? Wendy is now facing 7 counts of insurance fraud, 8 counts of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and 1 count of false statement to police. Her husband has those same charges, only he has 9 counts of insurance fraud. Now, here's the thing about the insurance. These people had 3 different insurance policies, which, okay, fine. If you have a lot of high dollar items, you should absolutely insure them in case they're lost or stolen. Actually lost or stolen, not like you pretended that they were lost and stolen. You definitely shouldn't do that. But when the insurance company comes out, we know from the Murdaugh case that they'll come and they'll sit in your house and they have a nice conversation with you and then they'll record you. Okay, tell us every single thing. Now, what exactly was missing? So they got Eddie on tape telling his whole lie. Telling his whole story about, yes, we were gone. We were out of town. Somebody came through the window. No, nothing's on the camera. They took this, that, whatever. There's some very key questions that the insurance company had asked Eddie, and it's on tape. They asked him, these items that were missing so the insurance company waits like a little bit of time after the crime occurs, right? It says, so the items, have any of them been returned to you, or did you buy any items and return them? And Eddie was like, no, that's not what happened. And they were like, okay, since you originally filed this claim, sometimes what happens is you lose something, you file the claim, and then later you find it. Have any items been found? And he was like, nope, no items have been found. And they were like, okay, great. Do you have any other insurance? Because keep in mind, say you have like a big old rock on your finger. Maybe you insured it with insurance company A and insurance company B. You have to tell the insurance company, yeah, I insured it with you, but also that other guy over there. And between these 2 insurance companies, they will decide how much money you get back. Both of these 2 different insurance companies are not going to pay you the full value. Sir, you did not do your research before you committed this crime. So Eddie told these 3 lies. Nothing was returned. We don't have other insurance and we didn't find anything. And they were like, okay, so we're going to write this up and then you sign it in front of a notary. And they were like, okay, that's what we're going to do. That's what they did with several insurance companies, filing double claims on the same item. That, my friends, is insurance fraud. Now, some people think insurance fraud is a harmless crime. And you're like, it's just financial. Their money was tight. You know how we all pay for insurance fraud? Higher premiums. Do I want higher premiums? No, my homeowners just doubled. Oh, I'm mad. And I'm like, Wendy and Eddie Osefo, I'm blaming you specifically. Apparently, as soon as the cops showed up at this house and started looking around and examining the situation, they were super duper sus. According to the police, they were like, that second floor entry thing, doesn't make sense from a policing perspective. Why wouldn't the bad guy just take the path of least resistance? Additionally, when the Osefos called the police, their grass had recently been cut. And so the police officers going in and out of the house tracked little bits of grass and clippings and things in and out of the house. They tracked a lot of dirt in and out of the house, in the bathroom, on the floor, whatever, around the house while investigating. And the police were like, we're noticing a very distinct lack of other tracking. If you just got home and discovered these things were missing, how come there are not like muddy footprints or even fresh cut grass footprints? There's no footprints anywhere of any variety. Did the bad guys break in and get out a mop and Swiffer everything before they left? I'm thinking no. Please hold. I didn't talk my throat dry. Hang on. So far, Eddie and Wendy have made no statement to the police. The only statement that's been on file, on record, is that statement that Eddie made with the insurance company. And what's more, Wendy and Eddie Osefo are currently cast on season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, which means they were arrested during filming. Now, Bravo cameras were not rolling at the time they were arrested, but the cameras are not there 24/7. Maybe they had a day off. On one of their filming days off, child, that's when the cops came and slapped the cuffs on them. Oh, also, if it's a high value crime like this, the insurance company is going to investigate. In fact, for a lot of crimes, specifically like fire and things like that, the insurance company will do a more thorough job than the police will, because the police are like, we just want to stop crime in our local area. The insurance company is moving heaven and earth to not pay you money. You know this if you've ever filed an insurance claim, any kind of claim, car insurance, health insurance, you lost something, whatever. You think the insurance company's gonna be like, oh, no problem, let's just write you out a check. No. They will do everything in their power to not pay you out. There was a crime. Remember Linda Sturmer? Her case got overturned, but the insurance company, that was a fire case. She set her house on fire, also her husband. Child, I have a whole Linda Sturmer playlist. That story is 100 kinds of crazy. Anyway, the insurance company did such a thorough investigation, they found things that the fire marshals hadn't found or discovered. So you think you're playing with these insurance companies? Child, you're not. You're going to end up with your behind in jail. Insurance fraud is a crime. Additionally, Wendy and Eddie lived in a low crime area. So the police were like, how come only their house got robbed and nobody else's? Wendy and Eddie have posted their $50,000 bond. Oh, they up there grinning their mugshots. You gonna show off your new boobs and your new booty that you got? I wonder how much money they stole to make that happen. Can the surgeon or whoever come and repossess your tatas? Because y'all just out here robbing people. Get a job. Wendy, Eddie, get a real job. Do y'all need a raise from Bravo? Look, girl, you need to go be a greeter at Walmart or something. I know you think you cute and high sedity and everything else, but it's not going to be a good look when you go to jail. You know who you're going to run into there? All the other housewives, because child, clearly half the housewives are down there at the prison. Say hi to Jen from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when you get there. And Teresa Giudice, child, she about to be there in another 3 seconds. That tax fraud is no joke. So listen, I'm going to keep an eye on this raggedy heifer. I won't be watching the show, but I will be watching the docket down there in Maryland where she lives. And I will report the minute there is an update. In the meantime, I will see you next crime. Bye.